Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, I'm Shannon and I blog about simple solutions for six-figure debt. I talk a lot about our family's journey to pay off over $500,000 of debt. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Today I want to talk to you guys about sinking funds and share with you two new sinking funds that we've started in our budget for this month. But first of all, maybe you've never heard of a sinking fund before, so I want to fill you in on what exactly that means. Basically, a sinking fund is like a mini savings account, but it's usually a short-term financial goal. It's not something that you would want to sock away where it was hard to get to if you needed it. It's not something you're trying to make money on. It's just something that's there for either a short-term goal or something that you would need to get to very easily, like your emergency fund. So two really big sinking funds that come to mind would be a down payment on a house. You're just sinking money into an account to save up for a fairly short-term goal. That would be a longer example of a sinking fund. Another example of a sinking fund that you probably have or are working toward would be an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is not there to make you money. So you don't need to be thinking about investing it. It's just there. It's basically insurance. So if something happens, it's there so that you don't lose money or go into debt if you have an emergency. So when else would you need a sinking fund? And basically just dependent on where your family is at in your debt-free journey based on how much monthly cash flow that you have that's expendable. Obviously, if your budget's super tight and you have a lot of debt, you're not gonna have a lot of room for a bunch of different sinking funds. But there are a few things that you don't wanna forget to be saving for year-round if possible, but definitely a few months in advance. So Christmas is one that just jumps out to me. And I must say that we have not started our Christmas sinking fund, and we'll probably start it next month, but that is one that technically you could be saving for year round. Christmas is the same time every year, so you know you have 12 months to save for that, and you could be sinking money just a little bit every month to make Christmas not such a huge financial burden every year. For us, we started two new sinking funds this month. We started a car repairs fund and doctor visits. Having a little spare cash around for car repairs is really important. And I'm gonna share with you guys our car buying and selling journey. Hopefully next week, once all the numbers are finalized. We have what you would call like a cash car. They're nothing like super fancy, they're not brand new. And they are both closing in on 100,000 miles. So we know that things are gonna break down. It's just inevitable. So for us, the emergency fund, yes, we have that $1,000 starter emergency fund, but we know we're gonna have car repairs. So we decided to start just a little sinking fund for that. Plus, we already have like a little squeaky belt on our minivan that we purchased, so we think we're probably gonna have to replace that very soon. So instead of just like being shocked by that in a few months and having to scrounge up cash or dip into our emergency fund, anything that's predictable, really you should have a sinking fund for if you know it's coming up really soon. We put $100 in our car sinking fund this month, and we'll probably put $100 in it each month until it builds to about $500, and then we'll kind of just look and see where we're at. Another sinking fund that we started this month is a doctor visit fund. So we have Christian Health Ministries. It's not insurance, but it covers basically catastrophic or very high medical bills. But as far as like well checks and sick visits for our kids this fall, that will be out of pocket. So we know we're gonna have doctor's expenses. We have 3 kids. We have 1 starting kindergarten, and we have 2 that will go to a part-time childcare Mother's Day Out program. So they're gonna pick up some germs and they're gonna be coming home sick. It never fails in the fall when you have young children. Don't wait and be shocked and surprised by your doctor's bills or your co-pays or your co-insurance. Even if you have insurance, having a doctor's visit fund can be really useful if you don't have great insurance, or even just to make sure that you're not forgetting co-pays, or if you have a kid that gets unexpectedly sick. We added $100 to this sinking fund and we'll let it build up through the winter months. This is in addition to our monthly payment that we pay for the Christian Health Ministries, which is $135 for a family of 5. So this is in addition to that. When we know we have well checks, that is a budget item, not from a sinking fund. So we know that I have 2 well visits in September for my 1 and 5-year-old. So we can plan ahead. I already called and asked how much that's going to cost, and it is a budget item. So it won't be a surprise. It's not an emergency, and we won't dip into our sinking fund for that. The thing with the budget, you will always get better and better at it. You can adjust it. It's not set in stone, and it should change every single month based on what's going on every month. So the sinking funds are just kind of like maybe mini emergency funds or things that you're saving up for. For us, since we're in so much debt right now, obviously most of our extra income goes to debt. That is priority 1. But there are a couple little things that we have going on that we want to save for. So if you have no debt, some great ideas for sinking funds for you would be like a furniture account. So if you want to redecorate soon, you want to remodel the kitchen, these are things that you're saving up a little bit for every month. You're not investing this money. It's not really doing anything for you. It's sinking into a little side account so that you can do something. A vacation is a great example of a sinking fund. So you want to take your family to Hawaii and you want to cash flow that. So you're going to save up for several months for that into your little sinking fund. And if you like to see your sinking fund in cash and set it aside so you're not tempted to spend it out of your bank account, which is what I highly recommend, I do have cash envelopes for a ton of different categories for free in my complete budget toolkit, which are printables that are totally free, and I have a link below that you can grab and you can download and print these out. I have one for doctor's visits, I have one for car repairs. It's really fun. There's like 11 or 12 categories that I have, and I also have a blank one that you can print out as much as you want. You can use the envelopes and the blank envelope to create your own categories of sinking funds that you can do every month. So these are just a few different ideas for sinking funds to start for your family. Remember, if you're in debt, you're going to want to put as much cash as possible to debt every month. But you also want to be mindful of expenses that are coming up so you're not tempted to go back into more debt when things come up that are totally predictable that you could have just been saving for and prevented a lot of stress on your family. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to share our car buying and selling journey with you guys. Hopefully next week, once we get all that finalized, we're hoping to make another big debt payment this month. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our journey. And also make sure that you check out the blog and grab the printables so you can join my email list and be updated whenever I post a new video or a new blog post. I love sharing this stuff with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.